A few years ago, this piece of land in Qiddiya was nothing, just desert and rock, a cliff edge outside of Ryder. Now what lies there is a 320,000 square metre theme park with 28 rides, including the world's tallest, fastest and longest roller coaster, Falcon's Flight. It's the first Six Flags park ever built outside of North America. But it isn't just a theme park. It's the first physical proof that Qiddiya City, one of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 giga projects, can actually turn concept art into reality. To truly understand how Six Flags Qiddiya was built, we first need to discuss its innovative design, the complexities of its construction, and then finally, the controversies that surrounded the project from its conception. Six Flags Entertainment Corporation announced on April 14, 2018 their plans to develop a new theme park in Ryder, backed by the Public Investment Fund, which is Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. The designs for the park were later revealed on August 26, 2019. Six Flags Qiddiya wasn't designed to be a local amusement park, it was designed as a global destination. The entire park is organised around a central hub known as the Citadel, from which 6 themed areas radiate outwards. The Citadel is covered by a massive fabric-style canopy inspired by traditional Bedouin tents, engineered to provide shade, regulate heat, and quietly control how tens of thousands of people move through the park each day. In Discovery Springs, the park creates a manufactured oasis, waterfalls, pools, and family-themed rides in the same way. Steamtown goes in the opposite direction. Everything is mechanical, industrial, and loud by design. Even the queue lines are built to feel active. The signature ride in this area is Iron Rattler, an insane tilt coaster which reaches a height of 208 feet. Twilight Gardens deliberately slows the park down. Essentially, it's the main area for families with younger children, featuring smaller rides and experiences. The Valley of Fortune leans into scale with ruins and cliffs. Long sightlines that constantly pull your eyes upwards, it includes the Spitfire roller coaster. The Grand Exposition area doesn't lean on a specific story like some of the other lands, it's more of a classic amusement area. There's big straightforward rides like Gyrospin, which shoots up over 50 meters in the air, and there's a hybrid wooden coaster called Colossus. And then there's the City of Thrills. This is where their ace in the sleeve, Falcon's Flight, is placed. But we'll come back to the construction of that later. Everyone's aware that Falcon's Flight is a record-breaking roller coaster. However, the park has actually marketed 5 signature rides which combined break 10 world records. For example, Iron Rattler in Steamtown is a tilt coaster which is the tallest of its kind. And Spitfire, a launch coaster in the Valley of Fortune, will have the tallest inversion on any roller coaster. Evidently, they wanted to create headlines with their plans, which they certainly did. But it's one thing showing what you want to do, and it's another thing actually executing it. Construction officially began in December 2021, and at the end of this segment I'm going to tell you how much it cost, but for now, quickly pause the video and guess in the comments. I want to see who gets the closest. The construction was awarded as a joint venture between these French and Saudi Arabian firms. The French firm brought the global mega project experience, and the Saudi firm brought local scale and delivery. Before a single ride went up, the park had to be carved into terrain that wasn't flat, wasn't shaded, and didn't have infrastructure for utilities. The site sits directly on the edge of the 2-acre escarpment, meaning large sections required major earthworks, reinforced foundations, and structural design that accounted for uneven geology. That's especially important for the park's most extreme rides, but it affects everything around it too: access roads, utilities, drainage, and emergency infrastructure. This is where theme park builds get quietly expensive. Only after the site preparation is complete can the ride foundations and vertical structures begin. During the whole construction process, they had to contend with the extreme heat, which directly affects working hours, concrete curing, and steel tolerances. This meant a lot of the rides created specific engineering challenges. Falcon's Flight, for example, interacts directly with a natural cliff edge. That means its supports, track tolerances, and dynamic forces had to be engineered around real geology, not a controlled level site. They worked closely with Intermin to manufacture a bespoke system. For example, the train chassis is fully machined rather than welded, reducing long-term fatigue under extreme loads. The vehicles use curved windshields, specifically designed to manage wind and airborne sand at very high speeds, something that normally wouldn't be necessary. Even the wheel assemblies were designed with heat dissipation in mind. By late 2024, Intermin confirmed the full Falcon's Flight track circuit had been completed. But completion is far from ready for the public. Now comes commissioning. This includes, but it's not limited to, months of stress testing, sensor calibrations, and operator training. Falcon's Flight is now the tallest roller coaster in the world, with a height of 639.8 feet, or 195 meters. It's the fastest roller coaster in the world, with a top speed of 155 miles per hour, which is 249 kilometers per hour, and it's the longest in the world, with a length of 13,943 feet, which is 4,250 meters. It has a ride time of 3.5 minutes. Eventually, all construction and testing was complete, and the park was open. But how much did it cost? It was announced that the Qiddiya investment company signed a contract in late 2021 worth 3.75 billion Saudi riyals, which is about 1 billion American dollars. Let's be honest, the final cost is likely much higher, but that's all we know for sure. For a project this size, the most detailed construction data, such as working hours, simply isn't made public, which is exactly why scrutiny doesn't disappear when the rides are finished. During its construction, one of the main controversies was all of its delays and whether it would actually ever be completed. The opening date was constantly pushed back. It was originally set to open in early 2023, but only recently opened on December 31st, 2025. Saudi Arabia have announced many ambitious projects like NEOM and the Line, so a big concern was whether the project would be followed through, which, as they proved, it has. However, as soon as Six Flags Qiddiya was announced, it was surrounded by other controversies. Saudi Arabia's construction boom has been repeatedly criticised by human rights organisations over labour conditions tied to large-scale projects. To be clear, those reports don't always single out Six Flags Qiddiya itself, but they don't need to. The scrutiny follows the ecosystem. When you build something this visible and this expensive, with a track record of poor working conditions, you inherit questions whether you want them or not. Six Flags Qiddiya is just the first operational asset of Qiddiya City, a widespread entertainment destination with a budget just shy of $10 billion. Six Flags Qiddiya will eventually be joined by a water park, a Dragon Ball theme park, and a Formula One track. The park's opening is Saudi Arabia showing the world that yes, this project is happening, and yes, it will be completed. I'm making a video about the top 10 fastest roller coasters in the world, so make sure to subscribe to not miss it, and if it's already out, you should be able to click here to watch it.